Hey again, everybody. It's Phoenix, and I'm back today with another Smash Ultimate match analysis. So we're gonna watch Yoshibro as Yoshi versus Somnium as Simon Belmont from a recent Kingpins Weekly. Before we jump into the match, I'm gonna talk about the players a little bit. So Yoshibro has been competing and hosting tournaments, both in this area and in other areas for a really long time. He's really skilled. I think that he has very solid fundamentals and impressive game knowledge. And Somnium is a more recent player. He only started in 2016 or 2017. And until just before the end of Smash 4, he was pretty terrible, admittedly. But since Ultimate came out, I feel like he's improved a lot. And he's definitely put in a lot of work to improve. And he's getting close to the top 5 on the Michiana PR. So overall, Yoshibro is definitely who would be expected to win this set. But let's get into it and see what happens. So right from the start, Somnium is trying pretty hard to uh, zone him out, but Yoshibro kind of just jumps over everything, which is probably the Belmont's biggest weakness, is that they're really good at covering horizontals, but they're really bad. They're like okay at covering straight verticals, but they're really bad at covering the diagonals. It's their biggest weakness, in my opinion. Although I'm sure somebody will come correct me in the comments. But that's okay. That was a good shield by Yoshibro. Uh, yeah. So, just a second ago, I noted that Yoshibro can jump over, and you're gonna see that a lot throughout the set, with short hops and full hops, depending on how confident he's feeling in the moment. I also think Somnium. So in this situation, he goes for throwing the cross. Back here, he throws a cross. He doesn't have stage control here. So when you're here, let's back it up a little bit so that we have the dummies in the right spot. When you're here as someone, you don't have stage control. I mean, pretty much the edges of the Pokeball, if someone is in that space uncontested, they have stage control. So what stage control gives you is a buffer for being able to do things. So at any point when you're playing a zoner, when you're throwing out a projectile, um, you're making a bet that they're not going to just smack you before your projectile comes out. And when you have stage control, all you have to wager is your stage control, and not even sometimes that. If you have if you have complete stage control, you can only give up some of your stage control in certain circumstances. But when you have no stage control, you're giving up your ability to be on the stage at all sometimes, and that is very devastating for someone like the Belmonts. Uh, Against someone like Yoshibro, who's pretty good at covering the ledge in most circumstances. So going for this there was really risky and didn't really serve to do him much good because the only thing he would gain from that is a little bit more stage control, which obviously is very important because you need more things to bet with. But there's other options he could do here besides for the cross that would have been smarter. Also, don't underestimate the power of shielding to and just shielding something. And I'm not totally aware how good Yoshibro is, or how good Yoshibro and Yoshi as a character are on shield. I know that they have some bullshit, I'm sure of it, but it's not enough that you can't shield. You can roll and you can keep stage control sometimes, although obviously spamming roll is not the best option. And at this point, this coming up right here, this is a very important moment. So at this point, Somnium has stage control, and he wants to punish Yoshibro for being up here because Yoshibro has no double jump. So he's got really two paths to take. He could either go straight down to the stage or he could go to the platform. And um, so if you are a lot of players at a high level will try to catch the player before they have to make that decision. So his decision is this platform or the ground, and um, you can avoid that entire branch of options if you just hit him right here. But sometimes you get a bigger punish if you wait. So, well, generally speaking, you'll get a bigger punish if you wait, especially with someone like the Belmonts that have like up air that maybe hits here if you go straight under them. And he's clearly not in a position to do that. So what he should do here is wait. Space himself for maybe an F smash here, but don't start charging it. You don't need a charged F smash here. You just need to hit them with something so that you can continue forcing your amount of control on them. And it's not like even a charged F smash probably wouldn't kill unless it was supercharged, at which point it ceases to be a read and more of a misplay by Yoshibro. Of a direct misplay. Anyway, so Somnium here goes for this up air, which would have covered the platform in my, I believe, but he totally should lose stage control here because at this point he's in the end line of the thing. He's gonna get hit here, or he should get hit here from a nair out of shield or a just drop shield and dash attack or anything like that, and then Yoshibro could also just run to the other side of him, and then he has stage control. So what I think Somnium should be doing is, in the circumstances where it's possible to cover them before they have to make their choice, do that. But otherwise, he needs to be putting himself, because he has such disjoints. He's got huge disjoints on the ground and in the air. So if he's like right here, he keeps his stage control, and he can still manage to cover Yoshibro's landing in a lot of circumstances. And even if he doesn't get a punish off of him landing, he still retains stage control, which means that he's still in control of the match. So, in short, Somnium needs to work on what he does when his opponent is in a state that he can't directly cover. And in this instance, I don't know if he gives up stage control. He doesn't give up stage control in this instance, which is surprising because a really good player, he would lose stage control. Also, another time, he did the same thing. So, where he gave up stage control prematurely. So, this is my second take of this video because the first take recorded without audio. But in that first section, I remember talking about he's got all these spacing tools, right? So he needs to use the spacing tools at range. So obviously Yoshibro's jumping over him, but assuming that Yoshibro got hit by this cross, the situation where he gets hit by this cross, he's going to get knocked back. So what is this move going to do for you in the first place? All you want to do here is set up for more control and zoning. A good player to watch this in is someone like Sunny D, who, if he hits you with a grenade, it's not like he's going for another hit. He's going for another grenade. He's going to do something else that involves a projectile because the projectiles give him the control. So Somnium, in this example, Yoshibro has stage control now, even though he immediately forfeits the stage control. And another thing that I want to comment on is sometimes you need to give up stage control. That's true of every character, including zoners, which is unfortunate. But if you give up stage control prematurely, then when you really need to have that stage control to give up in the first place, you're going to eat shit because you don't have it. So when you give it up prematurely like this, you're going to have issues. And I think that it's interesting that Yoshibro has not really a whole lot of, he's not really controlling the stage very much in this because he's trying to just play around the projectiles. This is kind of like a thing that M2K does in Melee, where he'll willingly go by the edge because he knows that in that situation he's so much better than everybody else that it doesn't matter. But generally speaking, you want to maintain stage control, and it's very, very important to do so, as almost any character. This is another instance of him not keeping his spacing. So I think that, so Somnium, obviously I've talked about he needs to work on his stage control. He needs to work on what he's doing when his opponents are above him, trying to go in, and how he covers them when they don't have as many options. How he covers options he needs to look at. Um, Also, I recognize that Belmonts are pretty or generally considered pretty bad at this, so bear with me for a moment. But just because your character is considered bad at something doesn't mean that a counterplay to that situation that you're bad at doesn't exist. So, for example, since Belmont isn't supposed to be able to cover right here, really, I would still spend some time in the lab and think about and theorycraft and find out exactly what we'll cover when they try to jump in through here, like a short hop and through a full hop or whatever other movement options you can think of. You know, maybe a retreating fair or a retreating aerial, maybe something else entirely, maybe um, maybe shield grabbing. There's so many things that you can do, so you really should look into your options for this. And even if that doesn't pan out how you want it to, it was still worth it because you know what not to do. Yoshibro just catches him with a thing there, with an up smash. Yoshi's up smash is really good. Obscenely good in this game. Somnium, this is good of Somnium here. He throws out some stuff that he has the spacing for. Spacing is what I'm going to talk about next, Somnium wise. He throws out some stuff that he has the spacing, or that he spaces. He's keeping control. Yoshibro starts to approach but realizes that Somnium can still throw out projectiles. So he backs up a little bit. Somnium recognizes that Yoshibro is giving up stage control here and takes it, which is good of him because in a lot of cases with lower and mid-level players, you'll see instances where one player really doesn't take space as much as they should be taking. When they give up space, you need to take the space. Having space is one of the most important things in this game, especially in Ultimate. Also, Somnium has this habit of up B out of shield. I don't know if that's very good. I don't think it probably really is. I think maybe he should grab more. I also think you should probably consider rolling and spot dodging more because they're really good defensive options in most cases. Also, a lot of instances where he's above someone, he's not doing super great. Let's actually rewatch this section on the platform. So he hits him with a cross. I guess he expected him to jump over the cross, but this is another instance where there's a lot of stuff you could do here. So you know that he's about to get hit by you know that he has to deal with the cross somehow. So you know that he's not going to be right here. So you can just go take the space because your cross is there. So if he jumps over here, then you're going to have to deal with that. But you can figure that out. If you're right here, that's just barely at the edge of the space. You can do like a retreating forward air back towards the platform and F-air him. In some instances, you might be able to sneak in an up tilt. But instead he doesn't have stage control, and now he's in a disadvantaged state. Also, he has the habit of going for, I believe it's down air, the tumbler or the falling move. When he is above his opponent, which I don't know if he has that habit always, but I don't think it's good. I mean, it definitely gets him killed in at least this game. Like that. Yeah, Yoshi's up smash is going to have priority over that. Anyway, so the hardest part of being a zoner is when you don't have space, it's hard to get your space back. But when you have space, you need to keep it. That's the most important part of playing a zoner, like the Belmonts. Or Snake as well. Snake is also a character that when you have space, you have it to great effect, and you can go and do amazing things with it. But when you don't have it, it can be extremely difficult to get it back. And that's kind of what we're seeing in this. That was a nice grab. Okay, so he has stage control again. Let's see what he does with it. I'm not sure. I think this was a flub from Yoshibro. I want to know I'm not sure, but I think it may be possible to SDI down or ASDI down if that's in this game, the fire and not get comboed into the thing. Sort of like Peach's down air, Peach's dare to nair in Melee. Um, but it depends on percentage and also how strong SDI is. I think it's something that would be worth labbing though in a lot of cases because that's clearly something that kills a lot of people. Somnium did an okay job. He kind of just got caught out because Yoshibro had invincibility. Now he has stage control. Let's see what he does. All right. Here's another time where his opponent's above him. All right, so his opponent's above him. He's got a lot. He just double jumped though. He can either go. He can cover this entire stretch of stage is the main issue. So from the left all the way to the center, but Somnium is directly below the platform, so clearly he probably doesn't want to go to the platform because he's going to get punished for that on reaction. If he goes over here, he has no stage control, and Somnium is in an extremely menacing position for that. So I think most people would probably go to the center stage. But he retreats because Somnium expects that, and that's actually kind of a complex situation. But it was an interesting one. Nice job. He kept his stage control here, and he spaced correctly. The dash away turnaround F smash was good of him. Or F tilt. Was it F smash or F tilt? It was F smash. No, it was F tilt. Played myself. Okay. But anyway, the turnaround is good because he's keeping stage control. That was a good, I believe it was a parry. Yoshi's parry, not the, shield parry, of course. He's keeping his stage control really good for the moment, but we'll see how Yoshibro gets around that. See, he tried to go in. He covered it with an up tilt. That was good of him. That was good of Somnium. Yoshibro is playing very vertically in this game, so I really want to see. I think that obviously playing vertically, playing the diagonals as Yoshi is something that is probably very important against any Belmont. And it's also something that Belmonts need to work on. So I am happy about the stage selection. We get Omega Dracula's Castle. So, in short, I think the platforms helped Yoshibro a lot in game 1. So I think it was smart of Somnium to go to a stage without platforms. Even though I'm sure there are other stages that Belmonts are good on, because this is a best of 3 set. So there was definitely a ban. I'd be interested in knowing what ban it was though. He kind of just gets comboed here. This is just silly. Another up B out of shield. Well, I guess up B out of parry. I think what's interesting about this game is without the platforms, Yoshibro can't approach vertically as effectively, so he just approaches horizontally. And it still works because he's playing around Somnium's strategy. That's good of him. So I think Somnium, my overall tips for Somnium in this, I'm not gonna give as many to Yoshibro because I feel like a lot of things that I would normally notice in a player are pretty optimized out of his bad habits. So I do think there's some things he could work on, but I really don't know if he intends on competing on a regular basis. So I like that from Somnium. He regained stage control, but he then gave it up immediately, so and took a hit. The main things Somnium should work on, in my opinion, are keeping stage control, and using his spacing tools. Like all of his like tilts and smashes are extremely good. His aerials have a lot of reach. Uh, you build a little bit of space with your normal moves, and then you use your projectiles to keep that space. And that's true of Snake and other zoners as well. Um, and I think he doesn't do that very well in this set because of how much pressure Yoshibro is applying. I think also something he needs to work on is how he approaches getting approached, uh, where he obviously the Belmonts have very linear moves. They're either going side to side or up and down. Um, but that doesn't mean he can do nothing when they go for diagonals. So he needs to either lab some things that he can do, maybe aerials, or lab what he can do after he shields a hit or takes a hit, or how to dodge a hit entirely. That's another option that he could do. Also, another thing is he's throwing out the axe here, when what he should do is throw out the lingering projectiles like the cross and the fire, or maybe not the fire, but definitely the cross. Um, because it's so important to the control of a zoner to have things on the stage just lingering. Let's see what happens at the start. I I feel like also something he should look at. It's a bit nitpicky, but when his opponent respawns, they tend to get hits. And that might be because his opponent's good. It might also be because he doesn't know what to do when his opponent respawns. He's doing a good job keeping stage control so far. Also, something that I noticed is this game, I talked about this a little bit already, but this game, Somnium is playing a lot better vertically wise, and Yoshibro is playing a lot more horizontally, which is completely the opposite of the first game where Yoshibro approached very vertically, and Somnium didn't really know how to deal with that, and he was playing horizontally. So they've kind of swapped. It's like um, Somnium is playing how he should have game one, and in game one he played how he should have been this game, which is very interesting to me. Although this is a last stock game, so. Also, please stop going for that up B. It's really risky. You're not going to get too much off of it. It's high risk, low reward. Go for something else. Um, something you could try is grab instead. You get generally punished less for grabs. Where's it at? Oh, I want to talk about this. This loses him the set, this air dodge. Oh, well, this loses him the stock, which in turn loses him the set. But right here he air dodges, even though Yoshibro can't reach. Which is just a little silly to me. I think um, you should probably work on some things when you practice the matchup where you just want to keep your air dodge as long as you can. I'm sure you know that, but you got to be certain about these things because sometimes they will be able to kill you if you don't air dodge, but in more circumstances than you think, you'll air dodge and then it's a free punish for them. Even when before they wouldn't get a kill if you didn't air dodge. Anyway, so the main takeaways here are that Somnium needs to work on his spacing and how he uses that to control the stage. He also needs to work on how he deals with branching paths of landing, and I'm sure there's many, many other instances I could find of where his where he tries to cover one option prematurely and ends up losing control because of it, which happened more than once in this set. Um, I think a way that he could do these things is by making a game plan. I don't know if he uses one at all, but they're incredibly helpful for remembering that you need to keep stage control, and uh, that includes through covering people's options. Anyway, guys, I'm Phoenix. It's been fun. If you have any comments, please comment them below. Any criticisms, other notes on the gameplay, analysis. If you want to tell me I'm an awful analyst, also comment that. Pretty much anything that you feel would contribute to the discussion, you should comment below. And I'll see you guys next time.